You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat mobile character review. A few days ago I have been running another poll on Twitter asking you guys which review you want to see next, and you all have decided for Inferno Scorpion. So without any further ado, here is my review for Inferno Scorpion. Inferno Scorpion is part of the Martial Artist and Netherrealm class, and his passive is called Vengeance. Each time Inferno Scorpion tags in, he gets plus 200% basic attack damage for 6 seconds. Inferno Scorpion was already part of the MKX mobile days, and he was one of the very first basic gold characters in the game. And there's next to nothing on information about the old days. All we can say is that he was maxed out with level 50 and Fusion 7. Also, the passive hasn't changed since then, it was just rephrased a little bit. In the old store you could buy him for 350 souls, but of course he's also a part of the gold pack, and back then we had the fire starter pack and the gold fire starter pack. Now we find him in the martial artist pack, in Scorpion starter pack, then we have Scorpion starter bundle, we have fire and ice starter bundle, so basically Scorpion is everywhere. In the new store you can actually get him quite cheap for 250 souls. And after the level cap was raised with update 1.18, he is now maxed out with level 60 and Fusion X. Scorpion's gear piece is the Shirai Ryu Kunai, and it gives you 25% critical hit chance boost, 30% special attack 1 and 2 unblockable chance for Scorpion characters only, and 50% damage boost against enemies affected by stun or slow. In terms of his feats of strength, you will have to win 500 matches in battle mode to unlock his rune. For the victory stances, he has to win 750 matches in faction wars. For his taunts, he has to perform 250 X-ray / fatal blow attacks. For his icons, he has to perform 1500 special 2 attacks. For his backgrounds, he has to knock out 500 Sub-Zero enemies. And for his titles, he has to perform 2000 special 1 attacks. And now we are going to take a look at the victory stances one by one, and we are starting with victory. Next we have warming up. Third would be Shirai Ryu Respect. And exclusive for Inferno Scorpion only, Embrace the Flames. And on your victory screen it will look like this. Now I'm going to show you all of his backgrounds. Next up we have the icons. And finally the titles. Inferno Scorpion unfortunately only has one combo ender, which means that you will have like one basic string that does nothing, and the second one is a combo ender that knocks your opponent down to the ground. His special one attack is called Spear, and it has a stun effect tied to it. This makes it ideal for follow-up attacks, but the downside is that this attack is not lethal. In other words, you cannot KO your opponent just by using the spear, you have to follow up with an extra hit. His special 2 attack is called Minion Assist, and it has simply just a damage effect. Unfortunately, just as the special one, this one is also not lethal, but technically it is kind of another stun, holding the opponent in place so you can land the final blow. His X-Ray is called From Hell, and it has a curse effect tied to it. Just as all the other Scorpion variation aside from MK11 Scorpion, of course, who has the Fatal Blow, the X-Ray animations are always completely identical for each variation. In terms of his passive, there is not much to show. At the beginning of the match you will deal extra more damage, but that's about it. So now it's already time to recommend some gear, and my first choice would be the Bladed Fan, simply for the main reason that he has a block breaker on basic attacks and is also able to heal on special attack 1 use. My second choice is his Shirai Ryu Kunai, simply for the critical hit chance and of course damage boost when the opponent is slowed or stunned. Since he doesn't have the slow, only the stun is interesting here. And on top you get a block breaker for special attack 1 and 2s, even though also you can use Moloch's Ball and Chain, which would have the same effect, and just instead of the critical effect it would give you the lethal blow chance in Faction Wars. Now Spectre's Burning Vengeance is a quite new one coming from the Shirai Ryu Tower, and I really enjoy this one even on Inferno Scorpion, despite him not being able to perform a brutality. But just the ability to set your opponent on fire when blocking makes so much sense for Inferno Scorpion, and I really dig that. As my fourth choice, and of course once again just in theory because I don't own this gear piece, but Smuggler's Luck seems to be made for Scorpion. With each special 1 attack use you will increase your damage, and that stacks up to 5 times, so theoretically this must be amazing for Scorpion. And now usually you would remember that I always recommend Smuggler's Luck as kind of the favorite gear piece, but this honor now goes to Spectre's Infernal Chains for the simple reason that you now have the chance for Power Drain on Special 1, which is incredible if you are playing Scorpion. And let's get real here for a second, that's the piece of gear we all have been waiting for desperately. When it comes to my favorite setup, then I would go for the Bladed Fan, Spectre's Burning Vengeance and Spectre's Infernal Chains, because this way you have the block breaker, you have the heal on Special 1, you have Power Drain on Special 1, you have fire on block. There's basically everything Scorpion needs to be a real infernal hellspawn or something like that. And next we have the character recommendations, starting with Shaolin Kung Jin, giving a bar of starting power to all martial artist teammates. Besides that, he's not really interesting because he's a quite weak card, he's mainly there to support Scorpion. My second choice would be Warlock Quan Chi, who reanimates Scorpion with 25% health after he is already knocked out once. And in case you play him with his kunai, then look into Vengeful Chinook, who gives that additional crit chance to the team, or at least if you play Netherrealm characters. But if you want to rather go with martial artists, then you could go for Aftershock Tremor. In that case you would get a block breaker for opposing Netherrealm characters. But my personal number one is Hellspawn Scorpion. 1.5 bars of power to martial artist teammates if you equip Scorpion with the Wrathhammer, or even better with Kuai Liang Scepter if it's a little bit fused above Fusion 5, then you are almost directly at an X-Ray and you directly can lay waste upon your opponents right from the get-go. Inferno Scorpion may just be a basic gold character and in the gold pack quite cheap, and therefore many of you might think he is not even worth the price, but make no mistake, this character, if played right and with the right equipment, can turn into an absolute beast, and especially when you are starting to tag around a lot, then his passive kicks in and works in your favor, because he will constantly have this 300% extra damage boost, at least for the first 6 seconds. And then I would just recommend that you immediately tag out with him and just tag him in as soon as he's available again. If you just keep that back and forth constantly, you will basically obliterate every team with just basic attacks, and in worst case he still has special attacks too. So now it's time to run the pros and cons again, and my first pro is the strong entrance with the 6 seconds damage boost of 300% when tagging in each time. Second pro would be the stun on special one, which is so easy to obtain, and you sometimes can just keep your opponent in a spear loop. If you are using the right gear and the right setup in the talent tree, you are basically just destroying one character after another without them even being able to move. My third pro is actually the great design, because the way he looks, Scorpion has never looked better in my opinion. I really love that MKX design way much more than, for example, the MK11 or everything that came before. So with MKX they really nailed it. But we also have a few cons, and the first one here would be that his passive is quite short with the 6 seconds. That could last a little bit longer because you really are forced to tag around all the time if you want to make use of it properly. My second con would be the basic attacks. Unfortunately, there is only one combo ender, and the one that we have is knocking the opponent down to the ground instead of leaving him on his feet. I find that always a little more difficult in terms of the handling, especially because Netherrealm constantly changes up the timing that is needed. My third and final con would be that none of his special attacks KO the opponent. It doesn't matter if it's special 1 or 2, you will always have to land that extra follow-up hit, and as you can see right now, as I'm still recording this video, there is a bug around that makes the opponent already able to block before you actually can reach the opponent again, therefore sometimes getting a little disadvantage. But now it will come to the final rating, and for this basic gold card I will give Inferno Scorpion a 7 out of 10. And technically he would deserve at least one more extra point, but unfortunately there's always a little bit of a hiccup with this card, so that makes it just good. But yeah, that was my review for Inferno Scorpion, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. We have just yesterday hit the milestone of 300 subscribers, so thank you all very much for subscribing and supporting this channel. I absolutely appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in once again, and as usual, I will be back with the next video very soon. Until then, you can choose one of the two videos that are up here right now. Please like, comment and subscribe. And also don't forget to click the bell notification icon so you will be informed every time when I upload a new video. Take care, Casey over and out for today.